We are going to begin today at page 105 and verse 366. And we will read, if we read to the end of the book today, oh no, we won't. I don't think we will. Anyway, we can talk about our next book and then make a choice and put it up on the internet.
I thought you had promised Bartleman the hidden work.
Good. That's exactly what I would like to do. Is that okay with everyone?
That's okay here.
Oh, good. Oh, that's a relief. Okay, see, I didn't remember we had done that. Good. Thank you. All right, I got to make a note for myself. So, Bartleman, you want to start on verse 366?
Okay, 1 second. Oh my. Three, 6, 7?
366.
366. Okay.
Yes, please.
And when the vine was established, it was not pulled up by the roots. And so whoever has the teaching in him, to him it will be given. But to him who will not teach the teaching, from him it will be taken away. 367. And the heavens and the earth, they shall be rolled up in your presence. And he who lives on is the living one, who shall neither see death nor fear. For he has now found his true reality. And for him, the world is not worthy. Pass.
368. And there is danger for the flesh which depends upon the spirit, but even more, there is danger for the spirit which depends upon the flesh. 369. And now it is time to reform the worldly consciousness so that I may live once again in the world. 370. And now I am in the third and final stage of transit. Pass to Bernie.
Thank you. Verse 371, verso 371. Y he tenido una visión de verdadera naturaleza durante la primera y la segunda etapas, y he visto dentro de mí las formas más profundas de mi propia conciencia original. 372. Y he reconocido las formas que he observado en visiones como los elementos originales de mi conciencia espiritual. Last one, 373. Y he visto en el espíritu con visión clara y lúcida, cuando antes no era capaz de ver, cuando vivía en el mundo.
Gracias. Beverly.
Now, I'm here. I'm grateful to be here, and I do not have that book. So I would like to stay and listen. Is that all right with you?
Of course, of course. And
All
if you remind me, I will get you this book. But you have to remind me because I'm not.
Okay, I will. I will remind you. Thank you.
I thought you had it last time, Beverly.
Well, that was the Book of Sacraments.
Well, that's where we are.
Oh, all right. All right. Thank you for this time. I'll go get the Book of Sacraments. Just carry on. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for waiting. What do you want me to do? What page do you want me to start on?
Page 107. And if you would read the English of what Bernie just read for us in the Spanish,
Okay,
you would start with verse 371.
okay, 371.
Yes.
Okay. And I have been given a vision of my true self during the first and second stages, and I have seen within myself the deepest forms of my own primal consciousness. 372. And I have recognized the forms that I have seen in visions as the primal elements of my own spiritual consciousness. I'll read one more, 373. And I have seen in the spirit with clarity and lucid vision, where before I was not able to see when I lived in the world. Tamara.
374. And I passed through the body of matter into the body of spirit. 375. And I passed through the body of spirit into the body of thoughts and desires. 376. And the body of thoughts and desires was like the form of the body of matter. My past.
Hardeman.
377. And the body of thoughts and desires was moved by my thoughts and desires. 378. And I have been given the vision that I am the Son of Man, Adam, the son of Adam. 379. And that there are two Adams, one in the world and one which is not in the world. Pass.
380. And with all the consciousness intact, while wandering through the endlessness of spirit, I now have the power to alter the dream, being both dream and the dreamer. 381. And the body of thoughts and desires has no limitation, and therefore the sensations and the movements of the body of thoughts and desires have no limitation. Pass to Bernie.
Thank you. 382, 382. Y la conciencia ahora está formada en una nueva forma, y no tendrá las hambres del mundo, ni tendrá los deseos del mundo. 383. Y no tendrá las agresiones del mundo, ya que se ha limpiado antes de que naciera. Last one, 384, 384. Y consideraré y escogeré de las muchas formas de la vida del mundo, y renaceré en el mundo en la forma en que yo haya escogido para mi trabajo dentro del mundo.
Thank you. Beverly.
Are we now at 384?
385.
Thank you. And I shall choose a form that will remain conscious of the spirit. 386. And the form shall not have the consciousness of the world of matter, but the world of spirit. 387. And so I have prepared for rebirth because I have recognized the forms and visions that have appeared within me and before me as the forms of my own primal consciousness. 388. And I remain in the state of the pure, clear, luminous void, non-located and non-acting. Okay. 389. Okay. Tamara.
Thanks, Dave. 389. And I shall not reach out, nor shall I withdraw from the forms of the world. 390. And I shall remain in peace, without hunger, without desire, and without attachment to the things of the world. 391. And in taking rebirth, I shall not choose a couple in an embrace of passion. And I pass.
Me?
Yeah.
392. Nor shall I choose a couple in loud and aggressive love play. 393. Nor shall I choose a couple whose breath is not controlled and who are not in breath together in harmony. 394. Nor shall I choose a couple whose degree of reverie is not deep and peaceful. Pass.
395. Nor shall I choose a couple whose thoughts and hearts are not in spirit. And I'm going to pass to Bernie. If you would please read the last two of the book, please.
Okay. 396. 396. Y tendré claridad de visión incluso en esta etapa de tránsito, ya que me he refugiado en el espíritu y en consecuencia mi visión es clara y lúcida. And third, last 397, 397. Y no he dormido desde el momento de la muerte del cuerpo, de la forma de materia, y así he llegado a este momento despierto y alerta.
Wow.
I would like to go to the beginning of the section that we started with today. I think it was, oh boy, I wrote it down. Where is it?
366. We started today.
366. Yeah.
Page 105.
Yeah. So we go from when the vine was established to I have come to this moment awake and alert. That's what the last words are of the book. And my question for everybody is, if there was a single verse in today's reading that would resonate with your present state, what would it be? Just of the ones that we read today, not the whole book.
I have it. I marked it because it was.
You got it? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I got it because I marked it while we were reading verse 380.
Okay.
When it finishes, now that I have the power of altering dream to be
Yes.
At the same time the dream and the dreamer. That is very powerful.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, I
Go ahead, Wilson.
Oh, well, I like the one Bernie picked, but then the other one I think I would pick would be 384. And I shall consider and choose of the many forms of life in the world, and I shall be reborn into the world in that form which I have chosen for my work within the world.
That's 384.
Yes, 384.
Okay, thank you, Tamara. Well, at 393,
Yeah.
as soon as I read that, I remembered that about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I attended the Sierra Master Chorale concert.
Oh, good.
And after the concert, but the concert was incredibly awakening, beautiful. And after the concert, I spoke to a friend of mine who's alto in the concert, and everyone was up and talking to each other. And I said, "How was it for you?" And she said, "How was it? 90 voices breathing together?" She said, and that's all.
That's
She didn't have
lovely.
to say anything else, but I thought, well, thank you for your answer. That was amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for that memory to have it right now.
I chose 389,
Okay.
and I shall not reach out, and nor shall I withdraw from the forms of the world.
Yeah.
That's such a nice kind of restatement of neither attracted nor repelled in a way.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really was struck by 367.
367.
And the heavens and the earth, they shall be rolled up in your presence, and he who lives on is the living one, who shall neither see death nor fear, for he is now found as true reality, and for him the world is not worthy. And the reason I like this one is because the context of the sentence is it's the you and the he, and a lot of the other verses are the I. And it's giving me a little bit of a distance about what it is that is being given and what it is that is not being given and what the relationship is. And I've been pondering that since we started today, because it speaks sometimes as if the writer is the I, and sometimes the writer is the you. So I'm always confused as to whether the instructions are being delivered by the one who is experiencing this, or they're being received by the one who is experiencing this. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
What number were you reading, Pat?
367.
367. Okay, thanks.
And the heavens and the earth, they shall be rolled up in your presence, and he who lives on is the living one, who shall neither see death nor fear, for he has now found his true reality, and for him the world is not worthy. And I also note, where is the capitalization on living one but not on he? So I'm multiplied confused and pondering.
I guess because this those verses seem so much scriptural, Christian scripturally based,
Uh-huh.
that I didn't see them as separate. I saw it more, like the Christ lives in me.
Uh-huh.
So it's more the continuum that that I am the living one.
Okay.
But I'm also the, at another level, the physical being that is in the world. So I just saw it as kind of an upscaling, and because there are a lot of Christian scriptures, about Christ, Christ living in us.
Yeah. And the verse
Yeah.
before is straight from the Bible. Whosoever recognizes me as the seed of all creation,
Yeah.
he shall be
Yeah,
saved.
the vine.
That's
Yeah.
straight out of the text. Yeah. But okay. And one other thing I was going to have us take a look at. So the last verse, 390, if I have it correct. No, 397. But if you look at the last verse and look at the first verse.
What do you mean by first?
As in verse number 1 on page 1.
Oh,
Oh, you're online, aren't you? Oh, sorry. Do you want me to read it to you?
you mean like the first verse in the book, period,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you get to
No.
that, or do you want me to read it?
Oh no, I have everything. I have the whole book on PDF.
Okay, I don't know how that works. So I didn't know if you could get to it quickly or not. So
You
why
mean
don't you read it?
this one? And it has been revealed
Uh-huh.
that to each is given the power of conscious death and rebirth.
Right. And now read the last one.
And the last one is, and I have not slept. Is that right? The last one?
Yeah, that's the last one. Yeah.
Okay. And I have not slept. I've not slept since the moment of death of the body, of the form of matter. And so I have come to this moment awake and alert. And it has been revealed that to each is given the power, conscious death and rebirth. I have not slept.
So they could go in any order. They could follow one another in any order. Thank you, Bernie. 380. Well, that's nice. Did you guys read what's in the chat?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
I wrote that the one that I choose, the 380, that finishes, that now I have the power of altering the dream to be at the same time the dream and the dreamer, and it resonates in the line of a Sufi verse that I have in my memory.
Yes.
That it goes this way: here we are, all of us, on a dream caravan. A caravan, but a dream but a caravan. But he knows which are dreams, therein lies the home. It's very nice, very nice.
Yeah, that suits it right on. Huh.
Thank you, Barlow.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've read a Sufi text. That is really cool. Yeah.
It also, when you look at 378 and then 379, You have, I am the son of man, Adam, the son of Adam, and then there are two Adams, one in the world and one which is not in the world. That kind of goes back to the duality of the one.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, what do I know? I'm just a rib.
You are a rib.
Yes.
You are a kid. Oh,
But an adorable one.
a
That's such
rib.
a beautiful.
Yes.
A rib, a rib, a rib, a rib. That is so funny. Yeah, I think this text, I think one of the reasons why I appreciate this text so much is because of the connection of Claudio and also Richard Smalley with EJ at the time that he wrote it, which was in '76. And just the references of shared religious teachings in various versions, and the illustrations were added many years later, like 20 years later, I think, is when Linda Corriveau selected these to go with them. And I've never been able to get into the image as much as I have into the text. You know, it's maybe just the version of the printing is not really fine, so I'm not getting the gradients. You know, that like there's gradients in the ink and the washes and all that, and I'm looking at the one on page 82, which, if I remember correctly, has a whole range of depth in the hands, and you can hardly see it there. You can see an outline, but you can't see the actual image. It's just kind of a smear. And so one of the things that I've always disliked about this printing is that the illustrations are so bad. But it doesn't change the fact that the text more than compensates for that.
Well, that's funny, you know, Patricia, because, you know, when I look at it now, I understand what you're saying. But when I was reading it for my brother-in-law, it seemed to me that the images were coming in to a different part of my brain. You know, there was the words, but then the image. So it was kind of, you know, the two halves of the brain were somehow both receiving data. And
yeah,
I think if I was just reading just the text to someone, I wonder how it would be different. But anyway, I understand, you know, when we're looking at it and not reading for somebody, that it, you know, some of the images are obscure.
It has a lot of what do you say? I don't want to use the word weight because it's not heavy. It has a lot of potency in both the images and the text. That is the case for sure.
Yes, yeah.
My guess is that, you know, there are people who have selected this for their book to be read to, you know, on their reading time. So it'd be interesting to do a survey, see which books, how many different books get selected for doing the reading cycle for folks.
Well, when I look at the images by themselves,
Uh-huh.
I like them a lot by themselves.
Yeah.
I just see a lot of expression or some very deep place that he's gone into, and because it's black and white rather than color,
Mm-hmm.
It's either or something.
Right. Yeah.
I do like the images by themselves. I think that he was willing to, well, that's not the right word, but I just like the image of them as an artist, as what he's created. I like those images. And to put them together with the language is something else. Yeah, I like them even then too.
One of the things I also like about this book, and I'm not sure I can express it, but when I do readings from the Red Book, the Red ABD, there's so many experiences of, you're down spiraling. Oh, you fucked up, so then this is going to happen and this is going to happen. And in the Book of Sacraments, there is a stronger thread of continuity for me even when all the apparitions, the negative apparitions, it seems like you're still remembering. And like, for example, so on the next day, the abominable forms will come again, and they will form within my heart, and I shall not be cast down, for I will not believe in the reality of the forms, for they are the forms of my own spiritual consciousness. Anyway, I really like that there's such a strong thread of of continuity of consciousness that comes through in this book for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you could do one line at a time, one line per day, and you'd still, be linked.
Yes.
I sense this book to be more, of course, more solemn, biblical style, but more compassionate, we could say,
Mm-hmm.
The Red Book, as Wilson says, Red Book, more down to the bone. Anyway, I made something that I don't think it's very important, but I divided the 397 verses how to match with the 49 days chapters,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives approximately eight verses correspond to one chamber of the Red Book, more or less. There's a slight difference. So I don't know if that is important, but I like numbers, so I made
You made the analysis, huh?
Yes. I
Good,
don't
good.
know. Yes, it's almost perfect. Eight verses is it comes to one chamber of the Red Book. But I don't know if that is pertinent.
Thank you, Bernie. I when I was reading for others, I mean, some you can tell, like this is the second day, and you can tell then the third stage. But I had to go on just the intuition of contact. So thank you for saying eight,
Yes, yes,
verses make a chamber.
yes, yes. Not exactly, but uh, I like the red book when you said the red book. But when you said you said first the red book, I was thinking of the communist book. Or is it the green? Mao is the green, or I don't know. I have my confusion. But the red
Yeah.
book is the red book. I think it's a communist book, no?
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah.
And number 383 on page 109, the very last one on the page. So I'm looking at, and it shall not have the aggressions of the world, for they have been cleansed from it before I was reborn. Does that mean I'm just, I don't know what it means, but I'll make something up. What I think it means is that I needed to be reborn in order to see that, in order to realize that was in me until I was reborn. Is that what's being said? I had the aggressions of the world and I had been cleansed from it before I was reborn. Does that mean before I was reborn, I had those aggressions?
Well, I'm reading the verse before that, Beverly. I'm linking the two verses together. It says the consciousness now is forming. And so it's the consciousness that does not have the hungers, the desires, and not have the aggressions. So that's how I read that, is the consciousness does not have the hungers or the desires or the aggressions. Before that, it says what the body has. So it's kind of like a list. Okay, you're going to have consciousness, you're going to have a body, you're going to have, this, this, and this, and it's going to be like this. It's like it gives a prescription.
It comes again and again to me, and I of course I don't want or need this to be answered here because each one of us has his doubts and points of view. But again and again, or time and again, I have the question that if the reborn refers to the next life, whatever that means, or the reborn and rebirth is in this life, in this only life that appears to be.
Yeah, now. I have that too.
Yes, but anyway, it's an incognito, so we can live with it.
It seems like metaprogramming of the habit body for me. Yes. That the habit body is clearing, is cleared.
Metaprogramming of the habit body. I love that. That's just,
I like it. Yes.
Yeah. That actually makes more sense to me than what the text says. The other part of this book, which I have not spent a lot of time with, which I may now, is it names a lot of the, I guess you could call them residents of the of the chambers, you know, horse face one, all washy on page 43. And, you know, it's like if I went through and made the list, I bet it matches up with some of the other texts and how they are named with the spirit forms that are resident in that chamber. But I'm wondering, has anybody ever put any time on that kind of a project?
What number are you at?
Well, what I was, probably I've lost it by now. Yeah. Let's see if I can come back to where I was. Yeah, page 43, verse 160, it says, and within me now is the form of the horse-faced one, Awashi. And
Right.
up at the top on page 158, verse 158 says, the form of Ulbaif, the destroyer of the Lord of Death. So within the text, there are these forms that are named and what they are of. You know, they're from a certain chamber in the void or an aspect of the void. So I've never taken the time to record them all and see if they match up in any way with some of the other versions of the text, which do have a name for each of the chambers.
What do you mean by record them all?
Like take a piece of paper and read the book through and write down each one that comes up and which verse it goes with, like that.
Yeah, I've kind of wondered, you know, what lineage it comes from, because like the horse face one or the you know, the crow and you know, I don't recognize, I've wondered about it, Patricia, and because I don't recognize them from any tradition.
Bernie, what did you say?
No, I'm positive that they are one instant, Arabic or Islamic.
Okay.
Because I've seen them in other texts, not from Ide, but from Sufi texts. They name them, and the way they are written are 100% Eastern, of course, no? Anyway, but it's an opinion.
Yeah, there's like the white prodding and thrusting mother of divine space, the yellow pig-headed mother of divine space, you know, the blue wolf, the red crane, the black sow, the red crow, the giant female guide, the green serpent guide.
Yeah.
You know, they're very powerful names, but I don't recognize them.
I like the 162 where he said, and within me now, the forms of the 4 female keepers of the doors of the kingdom are forming. I especially like that at this time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
4 female doorkeepers. Yeah. It does paint a picture, doesn't it?
But even that, you know, thinking of what Tamara is saying, even that, you know, using the word female.
Yeah.
You know, that is something that a female lives in and lives through and discovers, you know, to be this keepers of the doors of the kingdom are forming.
Well, I would like to close our session with this book by reading the last 3 pages, which are about the author, which I just scanned through again. I found some juicy bits in there which apply to what we're just talking about, is the formulation of this text. So Bartoman, you want to start?
Is it about the author?
Yes, please.
All right. I was looking forward to this.
Good.
About the author. E.J. Gold has been a prominent and controversial figure in the human potential movement for over 25 years. Technically a shamanic rabbi, he earned respect in the field of transformational psychology by the clarity, profundity, uniqueness, and expertise of his writings. His methods have always favored a practical approach toward inner awakening and transformation.
Thus far, he has written dozens of books covering subjects which range from attention and presence, the waking state, death and dying, to practical work on self, shamanism, labyrinth voyaging, shape-shifting, Bardo Town, the city of the dead, artifact reading, imprinting and use, cosmic laws, the suffering of the absolute, higher bodies, hidden work, artistic mystical visions and expressions, the tarot, prayers, Shakti, sacrifice, Sufism, natural childbirth, telemetry, and many more themes. Death and dying remain central to his vision, explorations, and knowledge, with a particular focus on the bardos and ways to represent them and map them out. As of 1996, Gold has already developed a bardo reaction video test and is developing a virtual reality game representing hundreds of bardo spaces. Pass to Beverly.
Okay, Gold's odyssey through contemporary society and personal transformation began in the late 50s when he worked with groups to research and test the entire range of approaches. Having begun before spiritual life was big business, E.J. Gold is still, almost 40 years later, a pioneer, opening up new vistas. He is internationally known as an originator of contemporary processes of transformational psychology and a masterful proponent of proven ancient methods of labyrinth voyaging, dark side dream walking, bardo transitioning, and voluntary evolution. No kidding. Wow.
Lay it on us, Bernie. En español, por favor.
Yes, lady. Un líder en su campo a menudo se le clasifica en su propia categoría y se le describió como maestro de maestros. Su influencia y asociación con personajes contemporáneos incluye a Robert S. de Ropp, Lee Lozowick, Rashad Field, Fritz Perls, Claudio Naranjo, John Lilly, Timothy Leary, Robert Anton Wilson, Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, Swami Bhushna Devananda, Tartang Tulku Rinpoche, and many others. A pesar de su notable lista de logros, Gold ha mantenido intencionalmente un alto nivel de intimidad y aislamiento de los medios de publicidad en las décadas de 1980 y 1990, después de 2 décadas de actividad pública. Su retiro de las apariciones públicas lo ha mantenido fuera de la supercarretera de los gurús por muchos años.
Wilson.
Gold's literary expressions are masterpieces of ideas presented with the utmost force and clarity. Ideas not spun from intellectual abstraction, but tested, lived, and communicated from the heart. Gold attributes some of his versatility and universality as a transformational psychologist and consciousness explorer to his culturally privileged background. As the son of H.L. Gold, the famous founding editor of Galaxy Science Fiction magazine, He grew up surrounded by Frank Herbert, Isaac Asimov, Theodore Sturgeon, Robert Heinlein, Arthur C. Clarke. Other celebrities associated with his family included geniuses from the arts and the sciences, Sir Julian Huxley, John Cage, Merce Cunningham, and Charles Laughton.
The Book of Sacraments is a non-denominational. The Book of Sacraments is a non-denominational prayer book. It appeals to readers beyond religious orientations. It is one of many death-related books Gould has authored. The companion volume to The American Book of the Dead. It is a lyrical expression of the passage through the various mazes one encounters in the bardos of death and rebirth. It is useful for the living, the sick, the dying, and the dead. And it is based on vast universal knowledge. It can heal those who read and those who are read to.
Gould's ability to modernize ancient visions demonstrates the knowledge and understanding that have gone into his version of an ancient but timeless practical guide for the dead, the dying, and the living with elegance and inspiration. And that completes this reading of the Book of Sacraments.
Sacraments. Yay.
Yoo-hoo.
Thank you so much, Patricia, for
Thank everyone. Yeah.
Feels like we just started reading it yesterday.
I know, it's so strange, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a recycle cycle. Comes in and goes out and comes in and goes out.
And
Wow.
we'll read it again, right? We'll read it
We
again.
will certainly read it again.
And
The
again and again and again.
Next time it'll be hidden work, so invite anyone you think would appreciate
Yes.
interesting text. Bernie, do you have an English or a Spanish version?
I have it in Spanish, but I can take it also. Yes.
Yeah.
I can. Yes. I have it in Spanish, but I can.
I like it when
Okay.
you read it in Spanish. It's very nice for me.
Okay. Okay.
yeah, it is.
Yeah, it really adds another layer.
It does.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, everyone.
I
What?
also want to do a little marketing
Yes.
about the Gateways author talks with
Yes.
Grace Kelly Rivera is going to be on Zoom on
Yes.
Saturday.
Yay.
You know, Grace has worked with so many of the different lines of the teaching, you know, in the play, creation story. She's worked with the perfumery. She's has really a vast body of knowledge and a very, for me, a mystical orientation. So I really think you all would enjoy it. So hope to see you there on Saturday. And thank you so much to all. I really love this book, and I hope this is when I pass, one of you will read for me from it.
And what is the date again of Grace's work?
The 24th at 10.
August 24 at 10 a.m.
On Zoom.
And
There'll be another MailChimp coming out. There was one that came out on Friday, but there'll be another one coming out on the 23rd with the Zoom link.
This Saturday.
Yeah.
That's right. And I just let everyone know Sandy wasn't able to be with us here today, but she did send a message that she had really enjoyed the book. So she didn't forget us. She just had an obligation.
Tamara, will there be a link to those two dates?
Yes, the link has been posted in the Friday mailing, and it will also be in the next mailing on the 23rd. It will have the link.
Okay, thank you.
And if you don't find it, let me know, and I can send you the link. I'll be posting it, but it really will mostly be Grace talking about her book and doing an exercise from the book, and a little bit about her process and practice.
Oh, thanks. Yes. She's also an incredible visual artist. I have several of her paintings, and they're quite beautiful.
Artist, dancer,
Yes.
herbal alchemist. Yeah,
Yes.
she's multidimensional. A good role model is God.
Yes. The Lord God herself.
Okay. Thank you, Tamara.
Oh, thank
Thank you,
Bartleman.
Bernie.
I just sent it to you, Bev.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bartleman.
Yeah,
Welcome, Wilson.
Thanks a lot.
that's great. Okay, everyone.
Bye-bye,
Be safe.
everyone.
Have a good week.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pat.
Much love. Bye, all.
Hi, Michelle.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Bye.
being here.
Bye,
Bye.
Patricia.
Ciao.
Bye, everyone. So long.
Bye.